Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Sarah. So I have been officially living here on this farm exactly 1 year. So I thought I would share with you a few things that we have done on the property in this year. It seems like we haven't done that much, but I don't know. I'm going to try to find old footage of what this looked like before and after so you have like an idea. So first we're going to start with the outside, the front of the house. This was here before, but it basically ended like right here, and this was all kind of space that was not being used by the previous owner. So basically is what he had is that, yeah, I think it came to, I'll put some video footage in because I think I have it. It came to about here, and then the water tank was about right here. So basically what we have done is Rafa moved the water tank that was sitting right here and he put it there so you can kind of see the water tank is back there because it was still flat space. So we just utilized all the flat space because there is a lot of hill. Obviously it's on a hill, so there's a lot of hilly spaces. And then he opened this up and he's gonna put a little house here for the motorcycles, like a roof. And here I have wood. Something else that we have done is we have fenced the entire property, which basically for the dogs, because this little guy here, Mr. Baki, my husky Malamute, if you know anything about huskies, is they are escape artists. So he loves to go exploring. But also really interesting thing about him is he will not go past anything. Like if you see this right here, this little tiny, let's see, that little thing, that just a little block, he will not cross it. So we put in a, so we put in basically chicken wire fence. It's not the most, I know if you're thinking, you're like, yeah, my dog would escape that. Yeah, well, most dogs would, but if he sees a barrier, he doesn't go. He just doesn't. So we put this chicken wire fence that you can kind of see here, all the way around. Oh, and you see him, he's down there exploring. The little baby dog, Nyx, already has escaped. She's already finding ways, so we're probably gonna have to reinforce this because she's an escape artist. Baki is not. So anyways, this little fence is not around the whole property, but it's around a lot of the house. It's around the entire house with room for them to go exploring, running and stuff. So we put that. You might think we're obsessed with fencing, but I'm obsessed with privacy. So we also put up this fence here made out of guadua. We're not finished. It's only half done because we're waiting for more guadua to grow. And you can tell we have, as you see, we have a ton of guadua here that is growing, but we also you can only cut so much at a time to promote growth. So we're allowing some to grow. Some's not ready. You have to wait. It's time consuming. So with guadua, it doesn't take very long to grow, but to be ready to cut, it takes quite some time. You have to wait for it to kind of be yellow, and then you have to dry it. So we're waiting for more to grow. Okay, back on the subject of the front yard. This is just like a mini front yard. We don't have very much flat space here, so we are trying to utilize everything for the flat space. So I showed you where the water tank is. So now the water tank is back there. You can see that little black spot. So it's way back there. And this is where the little motorcycle are that we flat. We fixed the gate. We fixed the gate and put a proper gate in. And there used to be a big tree here. And that all space used to be weeded, completely covered with weeds. Okay, so I'm very pro having a garden that looks kind of funky and overgrown, but what was here before was all weeds. So I pulled out a huge tree that was here. I moved a bunch of stuff around to open up the space. And over here is a maracuja vine that I found in the mess. Now it's producing maracuja. So that's great. We put in that you can see the fence. Here also I cleaned out everything. We had a bunch of stuff that was there before and I just took it out because the dogs like to have space to play. Over here I organized like a little herb garden, but the dogs of course go in it. It's a pain in the butt. So I'm working on moving all that anyways. But those are tires because that's a big cliff. Well, not a big cliff, but it's the side of the hill. And then here, which you see me using all the time, the wood stove. My absolute favorite, this is my absolute favorite addition to the farm was the wood stove. Before this was just open, but now it is functional and usable space. So we have this wood stove and the dogs being psycho, as always. Over here we put in a trellis, and I of course have more maracuja, and I have passion fruit growing there. It is gonna downpour. Look at the cloud, black cloud rolling in. And I also, so another thing I did was put in this terracing on this side of the hill right here. So I have 4 usable beds. I plan on terracing the entire side of the hill on the other side, but this is the only one that's, well, I wouldn't say this is done yet because this one has a ton of compost in it and the soil needs healed. I'm still planting in them just for experiment. Up there I have a bunch of cabbage growing, actually growing pretty well. I covered it for the sun and the bugs, and it kind of helped. We'll see what happens. Then I've been planting lemongrass and vetiver grass everywhere to hold in the hill. So this was also terraced here, and I got flowers and uchoa. I got all kinds of stuff growing in there. And up there I have another terrace bed. My impressive, this is, so I have been like aggressively planting every space that I can. This is red raspberries. My neighbor gave me 2 tiny little baby plants and it has developed into this monster, and I'm picking red raspberries every single day. Lulo, this just grew from the compost. I'm picking lulos every day also. This spot right here, okay, I know it doesn't look like much, and that's the top of a terrace bed right there. That's my coffee dispolpadora, still there. But Rafa basically leveled, let me see if I can show you. Right here, Rafa basically leveled this area to make it a flat space because before it was a big hill. And I have a bunch of flowers and lulo, trees and lemongrass, marigolds, beans. And here you can see the fence. This is where the fence ends. And the fence goes all the way down there, around there. And it continues. Over here, I'm moving a lot of my stuff because the dogs, you can probably hear them fighting. We're playing right now. The dogs, you know, destroy a lot. So I'm moving a lot of stuff outside of the fence so they can not get into it. So I've also terraced this part here. So I've begun to terrace the hill. I've been doing videos on the hillside, so I'm not going to include that in this video because I'm not quite done. But I'm cleaning the hillside, so I haven't done anything, just cleaning it, which I should have been doing which I should have been cleaning the hill all year round, but I've been busy aggressively planting and picking coffee. This is my beautiful lavender plant. I've been planting herbs everywhere I can because I'm obsessed. But what I've been planting is actually growing, so I'm very happy about that. And let's see, what else? What else have I done? Mostly it's been a lot of cleaning the land, planting. Oh, the most important thing that we did, which I'm not going to walk down there because I did a whole video. One of the biggest projects we did actually was putting in the septic tank, which is way down there somewhere. Because when we moved in, I mean, there was a sort of a, well, it was a plastic container that was leaking. So we put in an entire septic tank, which is working well down there. Back behind the house is a little bit messy, but Rafa has reinforced the retaining wall. We have to hire a professional to come in and put a new one in, so that's a project for this coming up year. He put in a clothesline, which I need to bring the clothes in now because it's going to rain. And yeah. Me trying to keep this avocado tree alive. It might be not in the best, planted in the best spot, but I'm trying to give it a chance. You can see the fence is there. Plan is to put a little something here to sit on. So I have a lot of upcoming projects. Oh my God, this is like, it is, look at this sky. It is gonna downpour on us. This is the hillside. I have cleaned the entire hillside because this tire is like a retaining wall with tires. It's very common here in Colombia. I cleaned the entire hillside, and the fence goes to there, and I have planted, there's some stuff down there I planted, but it's not really the best planting spot, but there is a lula tree, some squash, some beans. Squash and beans grow everywhere, and the guamo is a good nitrogen fixer, so that is a big beautiful tree that keeps the side of the mountain in check. Yeah, so that's chilling there. One thing on the house before I forget is Rafa is putting in he put in a drainage, a gutter system. So he put in gutters because we have had a lot of roof issues. I did a few videos on it. The gutter he did on both sides. So he put here and on the other side. Okay, we're gonna finish this video tomorrow because look at this. Something else that we have fixed is this path. We have cleaned all the trees and made it actually usable. Put a handrail here. So you can see the handrail kind of broke when we were cutting down some guadua, but it's fine. The path is still much better than it was, as well as we have cleaned up this whole area. This whole area down here has been cleaned up. This area has probably had the most work done, so we put up a little house that, well, it's almost done. This is going to be for the chickens and ducks when we eventually get them. It's almost done. We just have to put walls on it and a door, and that'll be done. And then I have Put in a bigger compost pile here. Well, I have 2 compost piles, but I turned the second one into, I put yucca. I planted some yucca in it because the yucca seems to be doing really well in it. So I'm just using it. I'm eventually going to move the compost pile because I don't want the chickens and ducks to get into it. So I'm kind of letting things grow in it. I have a bunch of, so I do have a bunch of avocado trees growing down here also. And what I'm doing is I'm treating them like it's like a nursery and I'm moving them. But avocados are very dramatic and they don't like to be moved. So I'm being very gentle, but I have to move them to the other side of the property because with the guadua, everything kind of takes over and they won't grow so well when they get bigger. So they do need moved. But for now, I'm just gonna let them get a little bit healthier, a little bit stronger. We put in this little pond. It's just a tiny little, it's just a small pond. And if we get ducks, they have somewhere to go. If not, we have at least somewhere to catch the water without it draining all over the hillside from our we have from the water tank. It kind of has an overflow chute, so we have it coming in here, and then it goes down here, and then it goes into the little creek that we have. So this has all been flattened. Here's the little house. So this whole area has been cleaned up somewhat. I'm letting the stuff around it grow right now because it has some lily. I don't know what they're called, lilies or whatever. I also spent a lot of time cleaning over there just to make it more organized looking, but I've kind of been piling back up because there's so much. So eventually I have to bring it up and put it to dry for wood for the fire. So those are pretty much the updates on the farm. And the other side is I'm just cleaning, which is general maintenance. So nothing has actually happened except for cutting a bunch of trees down. And I've done videos showing you, and I'll probably do more videos because my plan is to organize it. So once it's like actually something productive, I will include that in a maybe a year or 2 update video. So yeah, so we've had, I guess most of my time is spent planting and growing food, which I'm actually having some success with finally. And yeah, because I have a lot of things that just regrow, like lulos grow themselves, bananas grow themselves. I don't have to do anything to them. My raspberries are like growing themselves, and a lot of things you cut and it just regrows. I'm also learning what foods I can eat. Like I have some stinging nettle here, which is really homeopathic that you can actually eat and use for some things on the body. And my purslane I'm finding you can eat. So I'm like finding things that I can forage and eat as well, not just grow, but things that just grow naturally here on the farm. So also let's see what else. Yeah, that's really it. Update for year 1. So we'll see as I continue working on what happens, what comes up. I want to get some plants for this, some like water plants for this tank. Anyway, so those are some 1-year update of living on this finca. Oh, one thing that we did do, I didn't include, we put a fence up. I did a whole video on it. We put a whole fence from the spring to our house. We put a barbed wire fence because we have some Caña Brava there. I'll include a picture. I'll shoot a picture of it. Some Caña Brava, and people would come in and cut it because if there's no fence, people here just think that they can just come on your land and do whatever they want, cut whatever they want, and they weren't asking. And so I was like, we need to put a fence up. Now we have a fence, they come to ask us. We say no because I'm growing it, because Caña Brava can actually be used in a lot of wood, like construction. So I'm letting it grow and dry. And plus when we get animals, they'll eat the green. So I'm not letting anyone take it. People also ask to cut my guadua to buy it, and I say no, because I'm not into the business of, I want to keep everything here because we're using it. If I have an abundance and I can allow them to have it, then I'll let them come and take it. But right now we're using everything. But you know, people will overstep their bounds if you allow them to. So we did put a fence up, prevents people from taking the Caña Brava, which I want to save because I'm going to build another little cabin is my plan on the other side of the property. I'll show you when it's in process. Right now it's all a mess. It's in progress. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, yeah, I will include pictures of before and afters. I don't really have a lot I've taken a lot of screenshots from my videos because I film everything. And looking back, I'm glad I filmed everything because now I can like see what's happening in the progress for myself. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if this is content that you like, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.